one of the most fun interviews that I've done, probably one of the most fun interviews that I've done of all time, probably had to be a Verb. And it was a combination of different things. Number one, it was good because timing, right? Because me and Verb have been meaning to cook up for a long time. And then it just so happened to be able to fit in my schedule and in his schedule. And then you throw on top of that the fact that I had hit up Rashad McCants, and Rashad was like, yo, let's go and link up. And then we all kind of connected at the same time. It kind of wound up being this dynamic to where it just had to be nothing but divine. And when you see the interview, you guys are going to understand what I'm talking about, because we was just clowning. Like, it was a hilarious conversation, and I can't wait to release that. Obviously, I'm going to release the entire uncensored interview on Patreon. And then for everybody else, you guys may get a clip or two on YouTube or whatever. But shout out to the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I really enjoyed kicking it with Verb because I think that Verb is one of the real ones. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say that Verb probably, his real talent has nothing to do with rap. I think that rap is the thing that most people know him by, and it's the thing that created the most visibility for him throughout the years, but I don't think that that's the thing that he's the most talented in. Now, obviously, he's one of the most talented battle rappers / rappers that, you know, has ever come across the scene. Pioneer is what it is that he was doing, and we had a lot of different conversations, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Obviously, you know, for that, but I think that Verb is a dude that just understands the game. And you gotta understand the game if you've been around or you've had as much visibility as him for a long time. The thing that I really respect about him is that his ability to really be able to keep his head and keep his cool while still remaining relevant and evolving with the times, which is one of the true things that make people awesome as a content creator, right? And so me and Verb kicked it, and we connected, and we had really great conversations, and it was absolutely awesome. But more importantly, you know what I really loved about Verb? The fact that he was really able to hold the conversation with me as far as calling me out on the things that he think that I should be doing differently with regard to how I see women, right? But 95, 98%, I would even say 99% of how we see women in a general sense was similar, but obviously my conversation was from the perspective of a dude that's not a simp. Neither one of us are simps, right? But the dude that's not a simp, but also is married, right? And then his perspective comes from obviously being visible and not married. But then one thing that he was saying, and he was, you know, and it kind of caught me because I agreed with him, but then at the same time, because I'm married, I have to look at it a little bit differently. The Verb don't believe in a general sense that anybody is anybody's and that everybody's is everybody's, depending on where it is that you at in your life at that particular time. Now, let me add some context to that. Now, I don't want to get into it too deep because I want y'all to actually see the interview, and he can explain it much more effectively than I can. But in a general sense, I'll give you an example, right? Let's say, for example, somebody is married. And if somebody is married, then that means that essentially they are for that person at that particular time. But what if they then get divorced? Because then it flies in the face of what our current values are today versus what they were in yesteryear. Women of yesteryear largely was that guys until the end of their existence, right? But women of today have no problem with going ahead and getting divorced and then making themselves available for everybody. Or, I'll do you one better, they make themselves for everybody before they ever even get married, and then they say that they want to settle down with one particular guy, which then he becomes the sucker because he gets stuck holding the bag for the thing that everybody else got for free when that was supposed to be his thing from the very beginning. The very idea, now I'm giving you my thoughts right now because again, I don't want to talk too much about what Verb said because Verb can communicate what Verb said much more effectively than I can. But the very idea that, and I'll put this on Instagram in a clip and on TikTok, but the very idea that women believe that they can go out and do whatever it is that they want, but they're still supposed to be valued in the same way that women of yesteryear were valued when they were coming into a relationship as virgins, getting married as virgins, which is the representation of a white dress, without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. No man has known you, right? And then they think that they're supposed to still have these traditional values is baffling to me. I can't understand it to save my life. I don't understand the logic behind why people, and if a guy is operating outside of the purpose of a man, then we would hold him accountable. As a matter of fact, we don't even have to try to hold him accountable because society holds us accountable. And so when we don't meet the expectation, we get what it is that we are, unless that other guy, because then you want to date down, and most men date down instead of dating up. We'll go and get the girl that works at McDonald's if she's cute enough, and then make her our wife when we're unequally yoked, but that's an entirely different conversation. But the idea of it is that men are inherently by society held to a standard that women can't even imagine. But we're still expected to hold you to this high esteem and call you a queen, even though the standard for a queen or a princess that then becomes a queen is much different than how it is that we value it today. Listen, just because you black, people will say, yeah, you a queen, or yeah, you a king. Since when? When did everybody become a king or a queen? When did everybody become viewed the same way that women of yesteryear, or everybody was on the same level, or we're supposed to value women the same way as we were in yesteryear? Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely positively believe that whoever it is that you married them for a reason, or whoever it is that you want to relate. Nah, let me stop capping. Relationships ain't the same as marriage, and I'm not even going to act like that they are. Either you're married or you're single. I only say the relationship thing because I understand the majority of the audience is probably not married, or they in a relationship, or I like to call it a situationship, because, I mean, if we just being 100% honest, it's nothing that's stopping you from leaving. And if anything happens, she could then go on and do whatever it is that she want to do. And if you had children by her, it's much worse than you just getting married with her and then divorcing her, because you essentially married to her for the rest of your life through the child. But that's a different completely conversation. But in a general sense, I just don't understand the logic behind how people think today. And then it makes it seem like I'm the weirdo, or Verb is the weirdo, when we was raised to think differently about how it is that we see relationships. Regardless, it was an incredible time, and I can't wait to be able to drop that interview for you. Shout out to Verb. Verb was in the building. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. We always try to treat our guests with the utmost respect and hospitality, and I think that he probably experienced that. So shout out to Verb. All of this is changing too. So in the new year, we building new sets, we doing new things, launching new channels, having different conversations. And as usual, 2024 is going to be exceptionally better than 2023. And we just going to continue to raise the bar. I also got some new equipment and stuff over here. We got the new, just got this in, got the new Mac Studio, got the new monitor, the 27-inch monitor, you know, the highest one and all of that. So we got to get all of that set up. All of this is actually going into that other room. That's going to be the editing room specifically. So my editors will be able to come in and do their thing on a regular basis. If they decide that they want to come here and do that, they'll have the best equipment to do so. I got new desks, new everything coming. So the only thing that's going to be the same around here, we probably going to have some similar, I don't know. All of this is going to change. Everything is going to change except for the stuff that's on the wall. These paintings right here. All of except for that, right? So everything will probably change in a general sense, but incredible interview, absolutely awesome. I enjoyed it. I think that you guys will also. I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure you tune into the Q show tonight. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And then we're going to have some conversations. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.